Why can't you just text me like every other mom? Yes, I know, I'm sorry, Mom, but really, come on. Yeah, I'm on my way home now. I'll be home soon. Okay, love you too. Bye. Oh my God.
Oh, jeez, I'm sorry.
Even look before you backed up?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't see you.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Oh, awesome, it's broken. Perfect.
History class teaches about slavery that occurred hundreds of years ago. But what about the slavery that is happening today? With our sisters and brothers locked in cages and our sons and daughters taken for pleasure, yet society turns its head away from the sight of painful blood shed from our family taken by the malevolent. The modern-day slavery in our society is regarded to its more evident issue, sex trafficking. But what about the innocent victims that are forced to labor in order to feed the mouths of bank accounts that belong to the capable? There is an estimate of 20 to 30 million human trafficking victims in the whole world that are slaves of labor, who are forced to obey and work against their will. We need to spread awareness and take this seriously because it is happening in plain sight, yet I don't see anyone noticing. Why do people not notice? Maybe people habitually believe that they're an invincible being of some kind. Oh, nothing can happen to me. Those things only happen in crime-filled countries, not here. But what about the little girl next door who vanished from the sight of her family like a distant memory? Or the young boy down the street that was snatched from loved ones without knowing the tortured screams that would drip from his lips in his cage of despair? Human trafficking can happen to anyone. Your mother or daughter, your father or your own son, or even your brother or sister, and yet society's oblivious. Atlanta, our own backyard, is the largest hub for human trafficking in the whole country. Millions of men, women, and children are taken for slave labor. Once regular safe people, now slaves, are even compelled to make the products that we use every day in our homes. Because human trafficking is so widespread in the production of consumer goods, every American has either eaten, worn, or touched a product that was produced by slaves in the human trafficking industry. If your kitchen is stocked with rice, chocolate, or coffee, those edibles might have been harvested by trafficking victims. If you're wearing gold jewelry, athletic shoes, or cotton underwear, you might be wearing something made by slaves. And if your home contains a rug, a soccer ball, a cell phone, or Christmas decorations, then slavery is quite possibly in your house.
When a man desperate for work finds himself in a factory or on a fishing boat or in a field, working, toiling for little or no pay, and beaten if he tries to escape, that is slavery. When a woman is locked in a sweatshop or trapped in a home as a domestic servant, alone and abused, and incapable of leaving, that's slavery.
How inhumane can people actually be, where they use human beings as slaves to benefit their own wallets, where they fill human voids with horror and put beaten souls in confinement? The victims' crackling whispers are echoed in society saying, "Untie these hands and trembling feet. I am waiting to get to a better place." Is anyone hearing their pleas? It is time to unclog our ears and listen to the cries of slaves and human trafficking. We need to fight this problem right here in our own town, Atlanta, by supporting organizations against trafficking, encouraging laws made in order to prevent it, and stop buying from or supporting companies with transparent and slave-free supply chains. We need to start being aware of this problem and try our ultimate best to solve it. Maybe if parents were not so focused on emails or phone calls, they would recognize that their little boy did not make it from school today. Maybe if teenagers were not so focused on smartphones or social media, they would recognize that the naive little girl across the street was plucked by day and placed into darkness in chains. Maybe if society was not so focused on social status and appearance, we would recognize real dangers like human trafficking and try to fix it. Maybe then we wouldn't be just a society. Maybe we'd be one step closer to being humanity.